We're recording! Yay! Okay, so we're still going through the soul, spirit and body. And as Mum said earlier, I've been thinking, I'm not sure where my topic fits into this. It sort of fits in all three. But maybe you can have a think as I'm doing my talk about where you think it sits in. Because the theme is media. So that's the theme today. So what types of media do you think we have in the world? I'm going to shout some answers out. Social media.
News.
The news, yeah. Facebook. Music. Newspapers. YouTube, radio. Instagram. Some others I had. Podcasts, they're a really big thing now. Magazines, articles, all the social media. There's so many social medias now. The new one is called Be Real, if you haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
And you can take, it's kind of like Snapchat, that you can take a photo, but you can only take one a day, and you take one facing that way and one selfie picture of the same thing. I don't know. I haven't gone into that. But, so there's some of them up there. But what do we think media does? Why is it there? Anyone?
Gives you information.
Information. Influences us, yeah? News, communication. Advertising. Like social medias for like socialising, you know, seeing your friends' pictures and things. What was that? Connecting. Just entertainment on its own.
Yeah.
So all these are sort of entertainment-y type things, or they're giving you information, so like news or things like that. So entertainment media is usually an escape, isn't it? It's a bit of stress relief. It's like a bit of temporary solace from our struggles sometimes, to switch off. But although we might use it to relax, we must not relax our standards. So although we might use it to relax, we must not relax our standards. So that's what we're going to be talking a bit about today. So the first quote I've got is this, and it's from a guy called Jeffrey R. Hollard. No clue who he is. But he said, did you know that the original Latin meaning of the word amusement is a diversion of the mind intended to deceive? So it's intended to deceive us. And sometimes we might look for a diversion. We're feeling a bit sad, we want to watch something happy, you know. You're feeling a bit happy and we want to listen to something sad, you know, either way around. But we turn to media to distract us from our real world problem, our first world problems. But there's also another quote from a social psychologist, and her name is Karen Dill. And she says this: when we're transported by the world of fiction, so reading, films, that type of thing, our attitudes and beliefs change to be more consistent with the ideas and claims that take place within the story. We suspend our disbelief, and in doing so, we open ourselves up to absorbing involuntarily the belief system dramatised in the fictional world and to acting on those beliefs and ideas. Many times, what we see on the screen provokes a change or a response outside of our awareness. This is how the fantasy world of media shapes our realities. So we can be watching things, listening to things, seeing the news, and without us knowing, it's shaping our lives, it's shaping our thoughts on things, and we sometimes change our beliefs about things to go on certain things. Maybe your favourite TV programme, your favourite character in it, they have a specific type of crisps that they love. So then you go and you buy those crisps, and then that becomes part of you. That's like a really silly linear example. But on deeper levels, that can happen as well. So we need to remain in control of the media that we take in, because now we know we're susceptible to its influence. Because media can affect our thoughts and therefore our actions, because we believe in what we're taking in. Even if we think we might not believe it, we see everything on the news and that's what's happening. But is that what really happening? So it's essential for us to choose uplifting media wherever possible. Philippians 4 verse 8 says this: whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think of such things. So in everything we do, we should be thinking of such things. So how much time do we spend in front of the TV watching something that's not right or noble or honourable? How often do we scroll on social media looking at all the stuff on other people's lives? Is that right, noble and honourable and admirable? I don't know. Something for you to think about. And then Galatians 5 is the fruit of the Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness and self-control. Against such things there is no law. They're in everything. But are the things we're taking in containing those things? Because that's the fruits that we want. And if we're taking in things and then that's changing our beliefs and how we are the things that we're taking in giving us love, joy, peace, patience? Are they? Sometimes. Or maybe sometimes not. But by understanding the influence that media can have over our lives, we can consciously then address the options that we've got. So for example, maybe we might sometimes not watch the news before bed because it's too depressing, and then we can't sleep because we're thinking about all the woes of the world. Or maybe the same thing with scary movies. I don't like watching them anyway, but before bed, and then you're in the dark, and it's like, ooh, you know they're not real, but it does affect. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It gets inside your head, doesn't it? So our choices make all the difference in our lives as well. They determine a bit of the sensitivity of our spirit, and we see the goodness all around us. We know when something isn't right for us. You know, and that's called discernment. We'll look a bit about that in a minute. But every decision we make brings us closer or further from the Father. So every decision we make brings us closer to or further from the Father in heaven. C.S. Lewis says that our leisure, even our play, is a matter of serious concern. There's no neutral ground in the universe. Every square inch, every split second is claimed by God and counterclaimed by Satan. So God claims everything on earth and heaven, and Satan's there trying to grab it. So we might think, oh yeah, we're just chilling out watching media, watching a film or reading a book, but it's affecting us, and we don't even know. So, what's our responsibility? We don't have to avoid it altogether or reject it. Looking into this, I've seen some talks where all the pastors are like, delete all your social medias and, don't watch the news anymore. But we're of the world, we walk it. We're here every day. We've got to be able to do those things we said about earlier. We've got to have entertainment. We've got to be able to connect with one another. But it's how we do it is important. Surround ourselves, as I said, with uplifting media. So maybe a podcast about something you've been thinking about, or worship music. I think that was uplifting, what we just had before this. And media that points us to that Philippians 4 verse 8, the noble things. Think, what can I do or watch or read that's going to push me towards being that person? So look for entertainment that uplifts us, makes us laugh, makes us smile, makes us learn, and makes us love. Because that's what we want to be, don't we? We want to be happy people who are laughing and smiling and sharing our first love. So then doing that allows us to be more receptive then to the Spirit. We have standards as people and as followers of Christ, and we want to see what fits in with that and indulge in those medias. For example, maybe a book that we love or a film that we love maybe declined over the years in its morality scale. Or maybe we find ourselves singing along to that new song on the radio and then realising the words. We need a bit of discernment about what we're doing. So then when we choose the uplifting content, we're inviting the Spirit in and allowing ourselves to be strengthened. we're choosing those true, right, noble, lovely, admirable things. And then we open our hearts and minds to adopting those type of thoughts which lead us to those types of behaviours. So God's blessed us with media, I would say that, and all of its advances, but it's up to us how we use it, because we've got the power to choose. It's not given to us on a plate, is it? Here we are. Just watch this film. So, I don't know about you, but I think the Bible was written a bit more before the internet. Maybe the phones didn't exist. So, it's been a bit of an interesting topic to look at. But the scriptures are littered with things that talk about how Christians should engage in a public space. And that's exactly what this is, especially social media. So we're just going to have a look a little bit on social media. And I saw this question online as I was researching, and it says this: do you realise that you are responsible for your online behaviour as much as you are responsible for your in-person behaviour? Because you're the same person online as you are in person to other people. They will see Chloe Beesday on Facebook, and then they meet me in the flesh, and I'm the same person to them. But maybe I might think that I am two different people, that maybe I use that for something and I'm a different person myself. For example, I might be a bit more confident online than I am in person when talking to somebody, especially with my business page now. I'll, easily message people back, but to have that conversation, maybe that's a different thing. But we are the same people online as we are face to face, and we're responsible for how we behave. So here's 3 little things, well, not little, from the Bible and what it says about how to communicate. So the first one is, don't instigate quarrelling. We love a bit of quarrelling, don't we? Especially on social media. Much of what is online is geared to a bit of controversy, to gain more viewers or that sort of thing. If there's a bit of debate, it tends to stir up a bit of online traffic. And in Titus 3, verse 1 and 2, it says this: be obedient, be ready for every good work, to speak evil of no one, to avoid quarrelling, to be gentle, and to show perfect courtesy towards all people. Ooh, perfect courtesy towards all people. I don't want to do that when I'm a bit mad at someone, or someone's put something on there I don't think is right. But that's what it says that we should do. And then later on in the chapter it says again, as for a person who stirs up division, after warning him once or twice, have nothing more to do with them. So if we see people who are arguing and quarrelling, especially against us, we shouldn't have to put up with that. Those aren't the type of people we want to surround ourselves with, because we're chasing after good, noble, lovely, admirable things, not constant quarrelling and arguing. And the Bible didn't really know anything about Twitter wars back then or Facebook rants, but these verses clearly show a way in which we should walk. And that goes for online too. Think about what you're posting, what you're reposting, what you're liking, what you're linking to your friend on WhatsApp. And maybe ask yourself some new questions. What's motivating me to post this today? Maybe you find it may start an argument in commenting on something, and then will affect you privately. So maybe think about what you're going to gain from putting your 2 pence in. So let's check our motives. Because quarrelling, is it worth it? Does it achieve anything? Can you settle your feelings privately and say, oh, you put this on Facebook and it really hit a chord with me. Could we have a chat about it? Because I don't think that's who you are, and I didn't want to jump in and quarrel back. But we're Facebook friends. Yeah. 2 Timothy 2 says this: flee the evil desires of youth and pursue righteousness, faith, love and peace, along with all those who call on the Lord out of a pure heart. Don't have anything to do with foolish or stupid arguments, because you know they produce quarrels. You know, so why bother? And the Lord's servant must not be quarrelsome, but must be kind to everyone, able to teach and not resentful. Kind to everyone, even those people getting on our nerves. Be kind. So the second one is, don't be impulsive. Mostly, I think we regret online when we post something too quick. Like, oh, quickly reply to that, oh, a bit too impulsive. Maybe we are frustrated with something and we'll reply quickly. We've all done it. It's a build-up of irritation, and then we just blurt something out. We do it face-to-face as well, not just online. James 1, verses 19 to 21 says this: "Know this, my beloved brothers, that every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. For the anger of a man does not produce the righteousness of God. Therefore, put away all filthiness and rampant wickedness, and receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save your souls." When we did James just now, I was speaking on this verse, and I don't know if you remember me saying, quick to hear and slow to speak, because we've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. We've got to listen twice as much as we talk. But something else that stuck out to me was the word meekness in this verse. And this is what it means. Meekness is an attitude or quality of heart whereby a person is willing to accept and submit without resistance to the will and desire of someone else. We don't want to always get our way. We don't want to be impulsive, but we receive the meekness. So again, the same as quarrelling, we should create our own filter. Why am I posting this? What will it achieve? What will it make people think about me? Will this point people towards Christ? The third one is to stay clear of gossip. Proverbs 20, verse 19, I love this. "Whoever goes about slandering reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with a simple babbler." Don't associate with a simple babbler. We've all got a bit of a babbler friend, haven't we? You wouldn't tell them a secret because you know the whole world would know. You know, your sister's auntie's second removed cousin's dog would know by 3 o'clock. So, there's 2 more verses from Proverbs. "Whoever goes about slandering and receiving secrets," see how both the start of the verses are the same, so he's trying to get a point across here, or they are. So whoever goes about slandering reveals secrets, but he who is trustworthy in spirit keeps a thing covered. So you trustworthy or you a gossiper? Because that's the 2 things. Trustworthy or gossiping. And then the third, whoever guards his mouth preserves his life. He who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. Oof. Comes to ruin. It says in Matthew 12 that we have to give an account, and it says this, for every careless word we speak. Oh, I'm going to be there a while. Every careless word I've spoken. So maybe let's heed this warning and just speak in the right way. For others, always thinking the best of others, keeping people's secrets, because that's what you want to be, a good friend, isn't it? Because we have the best friend ever showing us the way. And I think you'll agree, the best friendships in the world are those who you know you could tell something to and it wouldn't go around. People who tell you secrets are people who want support, but also trust you and want your perspective. So these 3 ways of life that it shows from the Bible about how we should live in the public sphere also are part of all types of media and who we are online. This quote says, "Following Christ in a media culture demands that we become aware of how we use the media and how much we depend on the media to shape the routine of our lives." So how is it shaping our lives? As we looked at who we portray online, also navigate what we're being fed. So the media shapes us, and we can become that TV show, our favourite band, we can be that groupie, we can trust that one news outlet and not any others. But we need to seek discernment. Another quote says this: Christian discernment means looking at and listening to our mediated culture with the eyes and ears of Christ. We're asked to see truly and hear clearly the sights and sounds of media so that we may know what values and meaning are informing our culture. What are we informing our culture with? What is affecting us? There we go. Media can unsettle our emotions, and this is our discerning spirit. You know, when I said earlier about when you see something and you know that it's not right, that's discernment. Everyone thinks discernment, oh, it's this big gift, I don't know how to have it. But we all got it inside us. That little nudge that you get, that's discernment. And the more you listen to it, the more you can figure out, oh, that's right for me, that's wrong for me, because that's the spirit inside you. Oh, so on the wheel, that's spirit. So, something might make us angry on the news, maybe about politics or a natural disaster that's happening. A movie might frighten us. A song may change our language and how we speak. We may laugh at jokes that are just that little bit too far over the line. We might feel sad at a post on Facebook about someone asking for help. But our discernment in all those things is what are we going to do about those feelings? What are we going to do about it? Because it's fine to feel it, but that next step is doing something about it. So maybe a good way to start thinking about discernment is to reflect on your daily routine. So why do I switch the radio on every morning? Or why do I watch TV every night? Is it because there's a particular programme on that you like, that gives you joy, maybe it amazes you, you love the beauty of it, the costumes, the scenery? Or is it just to fill the silence that you don't know what to do with? Why do we read that same newspaper every morning or watch the 10 o'clock news every night? Is it to be informed for conversation, or is it to fill our prayers? So I don't know what you think about media before today and what you think now. Looking at it from me and knowing how much it will affect who you are was a big wake-up call, because I love media. But you know when you're doing it, that endless scrolling, and as I spoke to Steph about before, you end up watching a cat video or something.
Pigs on a skateboard.
Pigs on a skateboard, yeah. It's just endless, and what better could we be doing with our time? It's not to get rid of media from our lives, because what a great gift it is, that connectivity, you know, being able to phone Lily out in Bali when she's hurt herself. Well, if we didn't have internet or phones, how would we have known? Being able to, you know, FaceTime Faye down, or send her a message, or see what's happening and how we can help in Ukraine. You know, all that, and everyone did we donated things and we did offerings. We want to be in there, and we want it to shape us, but we want it to shape us in the best way, that we are noble people, that people see us and they're like, oh, they're admirable people, they're lovely people, they are. Those people in Grace Church, they're lovely. That's what we want, and that's what we're trying to do. And as I said in that one thing, I think it was the C.S. Lewis quote. Yeah, one sec. C.S. Lewis quote that God grabs it and then Satan grabs it. Everything we do, he's going after. That's why it's all littered with craziness. We got to go after what's uplifting. Go on, Em.
This is weird because at the start of this week I tried to make more content. I'm not sitting in the car and looking at something. He's pick up the phone and he's going to just scroll. You know the app we have?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, I've tried to be more of a conscious effort to press that instead.
The Right Now media.
Yeah. But I gotta be honest, it's a conscious effort. I mean,
It's really hard.
yeah, just to like other than scroll for like people's rubbish that you have no interest in.
Yeah.
But I have been trying all week to just like, and fix the stuff, press that instead.
It takes a bit of brain work, doesn't it? Because you've got to engage with it.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Whereas when you scroll, you're letting things come into your view.
But it is a lot better for you. It's changing your mindset.
Yeah.
Changing your mindset from rubbish, just taking on exactly what you're doing.
It's addictive, isn't it? It's a habit.
It's all because we have the power to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's easy just to choose the rubbish because it's there in our face all the time. But, you know, like Charlotte's been saying, she's been loving the Lectio 365 app as well. Maybe that's one to look at. And that gives you something every morning. I quite like the Bible Gateway app, and you can set up notifications that it will send you the verse of the day as a notification every day. It's just, it clicks you out of your, oh, I'm on social media again, and it's that kind of looking at your daily routine and how you can, because it's not like an overnight thing. You know, we all love dramas or soaps or things. It's not that we shouldn't watch those, but are there things that can give us joy more, or can give us, you know, more Christ-likeness, you know?
Stuck in a rut and then just carry on going with the same.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting what you said about being susceptible
Mm.
and being part of that media. Because, you know, when I was a kid, you watch Karate Kid, and then straight away you think you do that.
Yes.
You think it's just for kids.
Yeah.
But recently they did a study on Americans who only watch Fox News and had them not watch that for a certain amount of time,
Mm.
and they changed their minds on a whole lot of different things.
Yeah.
So you do get sucked into whatever media that you watch,
Yeah.
and that becomes your identity.
Well, even
Does influence
with the
that.
news between BBC and ITV, it's like watching totally different things. So the last thing is, it says that we're called to be in the world, not of the world. So we're in it, we're stuck here, whatever happens, until we go or Jesus comes back. So we're in it, but we don't have to be of it. We can be of Christ, we can be like him. So choose to stand up and stand out, even in your own lives. We're always talking about evangelism and boldness and going out. But what about our own day-to-day? So let's just pray. Lord, I thank you for the amazing gift that media is to us. How we can watch so many amazing things. We can listen to so many songs and read stories and all the talented people in the world that have all these jobs. And I just pray a blessing over media as a whole, that it would be Christ-filled. I was reading an article about a journalist who's a Christian, and in his workplace there was only 8% who were Christians. And there was like 40% of, it was in America, 40% of people were Christians, but only 8% in his workplace were. So even the Christian people, you know, think of Dan Walker and people like that who are really pushing forward in the media. We pray for those people, that they would be strengthened, that they would be bold and willing, but for us too, that we would be bold and willing with ourselves, that we don't just aimlessly scroll, that we would spend that time looking to you, God, finding uplifting things that make us happy, not things that make us sad all the time, that we would be able to step out and be those noble, lovely, admirable people, and we would chase after being Christ-like. Lord, help us with that, help us have a great week. Amen.